Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX this morning? So do you have the weekly chart up at the moment? And weekly chart is telling us that the trend is down at the moment, and we should only be looking for shorts. But we are also at a fairly significant level, and I think there's a lot that is hinging on this bottom level of 11,727. Okay, so that's kind of on the weekly, and you would expect us to defend that area. And at the same time, you can see that it is still a massive head and shoulders that's in play. Okay, so from an oscillator perspective, nothing really. We are grouping to the downside. We do kind of have a little bit of divergence here on the weekly between this low and this low. That's kind of a double bottom. But yeah, nothing really to write home about. But and see here, there's no divergence either. So nothing really to worry about. And I think so. You could argue that we have a channel, and you could also argue that we have a wedge forming, and you could argue we've got a head and shoulders forming. So there's a lot going on at the moment. So I think it's probably the safest thing to do is just make sure that you're trading on the smaller time frames. Anyway, I just want to delete the noise, and I want to put one more level in before we go and look at the. And I think we just line up with. I'm lining it up with this inside tail here, because you can see there's quite a bit of interaction with it. Okay, so let's get down to 30 minutes. What are we looking for? So obviously we are looking for I would say I'm looking for a long. We are at a pretty big level, but I suppose the level way below here is probably bigger. So 11,727 is probably the bigger level that we're supposed to be looking out for. And the question is whether we're going to get there or not. So for me, just going to go back to the 4 hour quickly. I just want to have a look at the oscillators here. We are grouping to the downside, are starting to group here. So I'm expecting us to get some form of a buying frenzy come in shortly. We did have a gap here, okay, which was closed, but there is a previous swing high there. So that would be an area to look out for as well. And that's very much what I'm looking for. So I just want to refresh my charts at the moment. So the DAX is sitting at 12,100 at the moment. So pretty close to where we are at the moment. Where we close, sorry. Anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of my take on this. Obviously, what I'd like to see is some form of a double bottom. Just moving to the 1 hour chart. So I'd like to see us sort of open, come back, test this area. Maybe come back to the next level, and then a bounce off there. So I am expecting us to bounce soon, whether it's today or tomorrow or the day after. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm expecting sort of us to find our feet somewhere along the line and start consolidating for a move to the upside. Okay, now bear in mind a break below 12,727. That is the area which would validate the bigger head and shoulders. So, and obviously you'd need a daily close below that to start with, and then you'd need a weekly close below that for that to materialize. So until that happens, we are looking to see what happens at the different levels. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of my take on this at the moment. But again, being a Monday, watch and see what happens at the European Open. But if Monday plays out like it has played out over the last couple of weeks, it'll only start moving later this afternoon when the US opens. Okay, unless we get some news coming through. Okay, so that's kind of my take on this, and I think the last thing that you can just pay attention to is this downward trend line. Now we have broken through it. If we can maintain the break above it, even a sort of a break and a comeback and a retest, that will give us a double bottom and an opportunity to get long. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a long entry, and it's either going to be back at this level of 12.058 or at 12.017. Worst case scenario is going to be all the way down here at 11.727. Okay, just back to the 4-hour, double check that we haven't missed anything. I do suspect that these two levels here are the ones that are going to be respected. I can see quite a bit of interaction with them. I think if we just go to the daily, will give us a better view. Okay, you can see these two lines here. There's a lot happening between those levels, and what I will do is just add that one in there because it'll line up with that previous swing high there, and this is what was being tested. Okay, so yeah, that's you can see it lines up with the bottom level here, so 11.887. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a long entry, and I would love to see a daily grouping of the oscillators like this, or alternatively, you can see how they crossed far apart over here. That would give me an indication that we are looking to long. But any grouping like this is really going to be the opportunity to get long and stay long for a while. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I think just delete all the noise quick and just put the Fibonacci up. Okay, so you can see we are at the 61.8 at the moment as well. Okay, so I think moral of the story is quite simple. If we break below the low of Friday, no, it's not Friday, sorry, it's the low of last month. Yeah, so if we break below this level of 11.856, yeah, that would be an indication that we have some more downside coming. But I am still expecting this to be a retest of it's a retest of the break on the moving averages at the moment. Okay, so that's my take on this at the moment, waiting for some form of consolidation before a move to the upside, and we may have to wait quite patiently for a day or two for that to happen, but that is what we're waiting for. Okay, so anyway guys, that's me for today. Kind of a mixed message, I suppose. If you are short, you're probably there's no reason to get out of it, but I'm not short. I'm looking for a long and waiting for a signal, and it may be at these levels, but I think what you got to do is just keep your levels drawn in. Okay, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm lining up on the tail where most of the tails interact with it. Same thing here. Okay, so those are my two levels that I'm watching. Okay, and let's give you those levels again. So it is 12.042 or 11.973, and ultimately 11.836. Those are the three levels I'm watching today. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.